This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April.
Yes, Sarah.
It is technically Christmas Eve for us.
Yes, indeedy.
For them, it'll be the new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Anyways, I probably cut that out. No, I'll probably keep it. So, April
and Sarah,
we decided to do one of your favorite movies.
Yes. It just felt natural since we did Your Dirty Dancing, because when I was watching it, it reminded me so much of Saturday Night Fever.
Now, I had never seen Saturday Night Fever. I had seen a lot of clips. Mm-hmm. I know a lot about it. But with that being said, we equally both knew nothing about this movie. I mean, that's not true. But
So here's the thing. I've seen this movie many times.
Yeah.
At one point, I apparently bought the director's cut.
Yeah.
Now, either one of two things happens. Either A, I bought it just because it had a fabulous deal, because usually they have like those Black Friday sales or whatever. Or B, I bought it and I'd only really seen the dance scenes and I skipped over the story, because when we're watching it, I'm like,
I don't remember this.
We're just going to skip to the end because that's where the biggest issues were.
So there, Mandela Effect is a thing.
Yes, that was what we concluded.
So I know for 100% fact that there is a poster and it has a picture of
Stephanie.
John Travolta in a white suit. Mm-hmm. And it has Stephanie in the background wearing a red dress. Mm-hmm. And I watched this show that had both the, why can't I think today?
It's too cold.
Maybe. It has the brother and sister from Dancing with the Stars. Mm-hmm. They had this whole big thing last year or earlier this year. And they were doing famous dances from movies. Mm-hmm. And at one point, he is John Travolta's character. He's wearing the white suit. He goes to a club. He does You Should Be Dancing with a girl played by Jenna Dewan wearing a red dress, because they were redoing it from the movie.
Yep.
We watched this movie and I kept waiting for the girl with the red dress, and I was like, I don't.
And she asked about it, and I was like, oh, are you talking about like the people that do the salsa dance? And she's like, no, yes, wait. And I was like, well, okay, yeah. I mean, there's somebody in a red dress, like whatever, And when we were watching it, she's like, isn't she supposed to be in a red dress? And I'm thinking, no, I remember her in this white dress. Yeah. Like, I remember how nice, like, I remember the white dress.
Yeah.
And then we looked at pictures and we're like, well, now I don't know what's happening,
But there was so much stuff that you had noticed that wasn't the same as what you remembered. Mm-hmm. And I even looked it up. I looked it up on IMDb. Now, that may not be 100% accurate, but there is, under the trivia, it says verbatim that John Travolta wanted his character to wear a black suit. Mm-hmm. But they told him that if he was wearing the black suit in a dark disco, he would not be noticed and all focus would go to Stephanie in the red dress. Mm-hmm. So that is why he wears a white suit. The poster has her in a red dress. Where did this white dress come from?
And the next issue, like one part I vividly remember is Tony and Stephanie not winning first place.
Yeah.
They lost, which I felt they totally deserve a loss because the salsa people did dance better.
Yeah.
But in this director's cut that I have, apparently, no, they just gave it to them because they're the favorites.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, I remember them leaving and being mad because they lost, you know? But no, they left because he was like, you know, nepotism or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then there was a rape scene.
Yeah.
And I for some reason, I feel like I do remember the two guys being in the back seat with her, but I don't remember a rape.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously that's the director's cut about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because apparently there was 2 versions of this movie. One was rated R, one was PG. The one with PG, all the cursing, all the nude scenes, the rape, none of that is in that movie, obviously.
So I feel like I definitely remember watching this when I was young and seeing like the stripper part where she's dancing naked.
Yeah.
Like I do remember that part because that's when my favorite song comes on. And I just remember the first time seeing it, I was like, oh, she's topless, you know? Yeah. So I do remember that scene.
Yeah.
You know, and because it has my favorite song in it. And I also remember another scene where Tony actually goes to the church to talk to his brother and's like, hey, you need to call mom, or, you know, like he kind of beats around the bush, like, yeah, you should, you know, whatever. And so that's why the parents attack him. And it's like, what did you say to him? So that's why because the way the movie plays in this one, you know, he just shows up at home, he spends the night, you know, and he sleeps in the same room as his brother. And then the next morning, the family's like, what'd you say to him? What did you do?
Yeah.
You know, so in the version that I remember, that makes more sense because it's like you went to visit your brother and now he's home.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Huh.
And I tried playing the other version, but I think I may have to buy it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like
Well, it's on Paramount. We have Paramount. So we may have to just like go and like fast forward and just kind of see what's happening.
Like next week, we just watch that version.
Yeah.
And add to this.
Okay.
Just add at the end, like what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I have a party to go to next week. So if you want to come.
We'll see.
It's with Addison. It's a ugly sweater, like pajama party. I don't know.
Okay.
I can cut this out. But yeah, so it was very weird. It just you know, I guess we should have said trigger warning. There is a rape scene. We don't need to focus on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racist remarks in this movie, a lot of homophobia. We're not going to concentrate on that part.
Yeah, because I don't remember that. And it could be because when I bought this director's cut version, I may have just only seen the dance scenes.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't remember that from the other version. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Yeah. I just, you know, you focus on the parts you really like. Yeah. So
I mean, there's so many movies that I love, and then you go back to watch it and you're like, oh, that
didn't age well.
Yeah. And so then you're like sitting down, you know, especially if it's someone's never seen it. You're like, oh my God, this is the best movie ever. And you sit down and you're like, ugh.
And that's what I was telling Sarah. I was like, this is my Dirty Dancing. You know, I love disco. I love this soundtrack. I have this soundtrack.
It's a good soundtrack.
You know, like I love it.
I do love the Bee Gees.
I had this in cassette and CD, and my favorite song was on the B side.
What's your favorite?
The If I Can't Have You.
If I can't have you,
I don't want nobody, baby. Oh, love that song so much. Yes. I think the reason why I love disco so much is because obviously my parents grew up in that era. So they had records from that era that I grew up on.
I don't know what is my favorite Bee Gees song.
So trivia. So disco was pretty much dying at this point, and the Bee Gees had this album, and they were like, yeah, we're looking for songs for this movie. And so they, like, yeah, let's listen to it. And they literally took every single song from that album. And the Fever Night song, that one was actually an old song. So they added, that's why on the cassette, the Fever Night one is on the B side.
Night Fever?
Whatever. It's on the B side because it's an old song. Yeah.
I like
so
that
it's
song.
Oh my God, I hated cassettes so much. Like, I know that these like not millennials, Gen Zs, they're like, oh my God, it's a cassette. This is so cool. Like, no, it's not. Okay?
It's not as fun as you think.
Like a CD is perfection because you can skip and you can repeat. Okay. You can't do that on a cassette.
No.
And I hate how they're like, I love the sound, oh my gosh. We're okay. Yeah, your stuff fell over.
Oh, whatever. It happens.
I saw it happening in slow motion. I saw it tilting.
It happens more than you think. Okay. So I have this special thing that I sleep with. And it's supposed to like be some more supportive. And it moves. And so every night I pull it over here and throughout the night it moves its way that direction. And then it doesn't help that corner lifts up almost, I would say, every 2 days.
Have you considered sleeping one night facing that way and one night facing this way?
Oh, I flippity floppy all the time. And that's why it lifts up because I'm always like moving.
Going with the motions.
Yeah. And so that's why that fell. And it happens quite a bit. I didn't even realize you did that.
I'm hot. Like, I was just outside. It was cold, and I'm like all layered up. And now I'm inside, and I've warmed up again. So yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know about this movie just because there's so many questions.
Oh, I guess the director's cut did not help. Okay. Now I really feel like my memory is clearly of the normal version.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like,
and now it's like, do I remember what I remember? Because, like when we were watching 9 to 5 and you're like, I do not remember this.
Yeah.
It's like you
like the whole cartoon section.
Yeah. You're just like, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
So, it's tough.
I would probably not recommend the director's cut.
It's a bit problematic.
It's problematic. It doesn't feel like a fun movie. Like, I think in the original version the version of my memory, the biggest problem was that, what was I going to say? The dude that got the chick pregnant, that whole, all of his scenes happened like that. I remember, him like falling off the bridge. I remember that. I don't remember the gang fight that well. Like, I remember they got into a fight because he got like beat up because that happened, but I don't remember it going down this way. So maybe it was cut or something, or
it was probably extended.
Yeah.
So I guess for the people who haven't seen the movie like I hadn't, basically we have John Travolta. He loves to dance. They go to clubs every weekend. He dances with all the girls. All the girls love him. And he has like 3 friends. One of them gets a girl pregnant. And then his brother is a priest, and he decides to quit.
Travolta's brother.
Yeah. and his dad had been laid off work, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And nothing was going on with the brother. He just became disenchanted.
Yeah.
You know, he just, being that up close, he didn't see it anymore.
Yeah.
So
at the very beginning of the movie, Staying Alive is playing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Love it.
Like, that sets the tone for the movie. I was in it. And all I could think, now, again, I had not seen this movie.
Just clips.
I'd seen clips, but I don't remember them ever really saying much in the clips. I'd just seen like the dancing. And so I said to April, I go, in that outfit, because he's going to his job and he's wearing like this fancy like silk shirt and like jacket and black pants. And I'm like, he looks like a Tony. And she goes, he is Tony. And I was like, I nailed it. Like, that was a perfect outfit because he looked spot on. Like, when I think of a Tony, that is what a Tony looks like.
So there is a part where, you know, they're going down for dinner, but he's already dressed.
Yeah.
And he and I thought about that Eminem line, getting mom's spaghetti. And I was like, is this the inspiration for that line?
Well, and I was thinking of the Jersey Shore guys and how they would wait until right before they were getting in the cabs to put their shirts on because it was t-shirt time because they didn't want to get anything on it. And when he was doing his hair, all I could think is Polly. I was like, look at him using the blow dryer and the brush and getting his hair just exactly right. And I was just like, I wonder if Polly had seen this movie.
I'm sure.
Like, he had to.
Yeah.
He had to.
I loved the dinner scene where they all start fighting with each other.
Yeah.
That felt the most real and authentic dinner for a family.
Yes.
You know?
Or like when he walked in the door and like, where have you been? Answer your father. Your father asked where you been. Where you been? And he's like, answer your mother. Your mother asked.
Exactly. And then he's like, you know, I don't get out of work till 6. I'm never going to be on time.
Right? I was like, he came from work. Like, what are you thinking?
Like, you know where he works and you know how long that walk is. So, like, you know what I mean?
Especially when he has to strut down the street to his songs. And, you know, look at girls and eat pizza and whatever. He does, one part that I liked was when he when he goes to the tailor and he's like, here, save this one for me, blah, blah, blah. He's like, here's my money. He's like, I'll get you a receipt. He's like, no, I trust you. He's like, you shouldn't trust me. I was like, wow. Let's just tell him like it is.
Yep.
Be like, I'm going to cheat you, man. Don't trust me. Oh, and we discussed that his boss pays him on Mondays and he's asking for an advance. And he goes, no. And he's like, but everybody else gets paid on Friday. And they're like, yeah, and they're broke by Monday. This way you have money all week. And you're like, that's a really good idea.
I know. I'm like, when we have our business, we'll pay our employees on Monday.
There we go.
Yeah.
Payday Monday. A dig.
The only way you get paid on Fridays if it's a holiday.
Ooh.
Then you'll get paid the day before the holiday.
So do you remember this part in the movie that you saw? Pussy fingers?
No. No, I do not.
I was like, that was the very first thing that was said that was like,
hold on.
Huh? Well, okay, that's not true. They said some racist stuff before.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that. Like, I remember the complaining about the spics. I remember the spics being said quite a few times, but not the other stuff.
Yeah.
It gets worse. A lot worse.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't expecting it from a New York set movie. You know what I mean? I was just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, they went there.
That's this kind of movie. And then he says that about his finger, and I was just like, huh. Oh, yikes. Yikes the bee. I'm sorry, Mom, that I said that word on here.
I mean, it's a quote.
I'm more sorry, Grandpa, if you listen to this. Don't listen to this.
You should definitely name this episode The Mandela Effect.
Right? Saturday Night Fever Mandela Effect.
Mm-hmm.
The creepy girl with the towel.
I love that part. What I love about that part is that she's creepy, but he still lets her dab his face. Like, that's how full of himself he is. Yeah. And I love that for him. I do.
Yeah. So there's this girl, Annette. I know it's not the same person, but we have Annette, and she is like a stalker or no, like a clinger, a level 7 clinger.
Okay, Seinfeld.
Yeah. And she is talking to him, and then this girl comes up and she's like, "Can I wipe off your face?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
She like starts dabbing it all like,
and she's like, "How much I love you. I love you. I love you." And then the friends are trying to make fun of her. He's like, "Why don't you take her out to dance? Take her out to dance." Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, sure." And so I thought that was going to be the dance where he walks away from her and does his fancy dance.
Yeah.
And I thought she's like just so happy she even had an opportunity. Because listen, if I like somebody and I'm like, we should go dance. And he's like, yes, I would be over the moon. And even if he left me at the side to strut his stuff, I would be like, we dance together.
Like, he's strutting his stuff for me.
Exactly.
Because that's what it does kind of seem that way.
Did you see us dancing out there? Be like, April, you were standing on the corner. Yeah, but we were dancing together. Like, that was his solo.
He was strutting for me.
Exactly.
Clearly.
Like, that solo lasted 95% of the dance. And
what's your point?
I had 5% there. Yeah, that was all me.
He cradled me for like a half a second. Okay.
And I will treasure that memory forever.
I still have the towel with his sweat.
Oh my God, she would do that. She would do that.
She would.
Okay, Sheldon.
Exactly. Yes. So then he sees her. He sees Stephanie, which that's a weird name for her. I don't feel like that name works for her. Character
it's fine. But I don't remember the whole New York part where he helps her move. Like, I know he helps her move, but I don't remember all of that conversation.
It just must have been extra stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's a good dancer at all. And it even said in my like studying a bit ago, it said that people didn't want her for the part because she wasn't the best dancer. And I was like, yeah, she's not. Like, the way he's looking at her, she should have been perfection, and she was not.
Yeah, she needed about another month at the studio.
Yeah, something. It wasn't great. I actually really liked Annette. I thought she was a better dancer. She's just crazy.
Obviously, she's supposed to not be a good dancer.
Yeah.
So in comparison, by character, I do like Stephanie's dance better.
Yeah.
But it was intent. Like, that's what it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I did not like Annette's character. Like, oh my God. So annoying. Like, dude, if they don't want you, just leave it. Okay.
But I don't think he didn't want her. It sounded like he would have dated her, but she wanted him too much.
True.
Or wanted too much from him, I guess.
I feel like he's the person that'll give just about anybody a chance.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he would have dated her depending on if she was a good girl or a cunt.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I used the word cunt.
But that was also a quote.
You can't spell U-N-T. Wait, what? You can't spell cunt without U-N-T. That's what it is. They have cups or mugs at school
really?
that say it, yes. Yeah, the vagina monologues, they sell those. You know, shout out to UNT.
Good job.
Because the handle on the cup looks like a
C. That's smart marketing.
Right? So good. My school was so creative.
Is the cup pink?
Yes.
It is?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, for vagina monologues.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what they're doing there, right? Let's see here. Oh, what kind of club is this? So they're dancing. There's a bar, and then all of a sudden there's a woman and she's getting topless, but she's the only one. And it's not like she's a stripper. She's just kind of like a go-go dancer, but she's not in like a cage and she's not on the floor. She's just like behind the bar.
So that's more for people that just want to like let's say we're talking business. We go into the back room where we can have drinks. There's music. It's not loud. She's just there for atmosphere. Okay.
That's all. She's just atmospheric.
She's like a go-go dancer.
Yeah.
But like, atmosphere. They probably pay extra to get to that back room.
I was going to say, like, it's...
Not anybody is allowed in there. That's an extra fee, okay?
Yeah, I was like, it's not on the main stage. It's just like in the side room, and she's just behind the bar stripping.
Yeah, I mean, when you're like, let's have a work lunch, date.
Date.
I don't know. What do you call it when you go to lunch with like a business partner to talk business?
Business lunch.
A business lunch. There you go. At night. For the people that work overnights. They're like, oh, I know this place. We can catch a quick nightcap. And like, I don't know. It was in the 70s. Okay.
It's like the world's smallest stage too. It's just like.
It's atmosphere. It's for the atmosphere. I mean, maybe, you know what? That probably still exists.
Probably.
We just can't get into those back rooms.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to be there.
I mean, I want to see what's going on.
Though I would love to go to a 70s disco. Like, if I could find a place that had a 70s disco right now, I would go.
Yeah. I love disco. Disco stew.
So he gets a raise at his paint job.
I don't remember it being that much. Not $4.50 and then he backtracks.
So, like, what was he making before?
And then I wonder, there's no way in hell you can get literally, that's like, doesn't matter how much he was paid, but you jumped up from $2 to $4. That's a double raise, basically. Yeah. Is that per week? Per day? Is he
per hour?
Like, there's no way in hell he gets paid that per hour. It has to be per day, right? But that doesn't feel like $4.50 makes sense per day. It doesn't seem like enough, but per hour, that's way too much.
Well, why would he only make $4.50 a day?
I don't know. But here's the thing. Minimum wage right now is like what, $7.50?
Yeah.
And it was what, in the 70s? Let's say it was a third of that.
It was
$4.25. Yeah. So you're giving him an extra $8, and he's only been there like 8 months, an hour?
No, I think he was bumped up to $4. Yeah, because I think he said, "I'm giving you a raise, $2.50." I think he was getting $2.50, and then he was getting $4. Yeah, because his dad even says you can't buy anything. You can't even buy $3 for that, for $4. Or for $2.50 or whatever.
I thought it was plus.
No. So I think he was making probably like 75 cents an hour or something.
Because nowadays, when you get a raise, they're like, I'm giving you like a 50-cent raise.
Yeah.
On top of your normal pay.
Yeah. So I think he was making probably
at least $1.25,
yeah.
75.
Yeah, and they bumped him up $2.50, and then bumped him up to $4.
Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying.
Because I was like, that's too much.
Yeah, and then when his dad said you can't even buy $3 with that, I was like,
I can. I don't know.
Out of 4? You can't buy 3 out of 4? I was like, I think you can get $1 extra. Or maybe he's talking with taxes. Then you wouldn't be able to. I don't know.
I don't know either.
whatever. This movie doesn't make sense.
Just watch the normal version. Please do not watch the director's cut. Just don't do it.
So along with the racism and the rape and all of that, we have the chauvinistic side of this family. And he is in a good mood because he got his raise. And he's picking up the dishes. And his dad's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to help out. He's like, why? He's like, because I got a raise. He goes, that's woman's work. Oh, why?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you sit at home all day.
Yeah.
And
collecting
your wife,
unemployment. Yeah.
Your wife is cleaning, cooking, doing all this stuff. And you're not even going to just like help move the dishes.
Yeah. And
we've come a long way.
And not only that, but apparently, like, it seems that like maybe they were temporarily laid off.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, he gets a freaking telegram like at the door that tells him to come back. I'm like, dude, if you have his address, why don't you fucking mail him a letter? Like, do you want him to come back that night? Is that why you need to send a telegram?
Or call him.
Well, okay.
They have a phone.
Yes. But we only know for sure that they have his address. We don't know that he has the phone number.
Well, your job should have your phone.
Listen. We can only go by established facts. As a fact, we know they have his address.
True.
So why? Because sending a telegram that knocks on your fucking, like there's a dude that came and knocked on the door like FedEx.
Not even a singing telegram, just a regular one.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, unless you wanted him to come in that night, a regular letter with a turnaround of 2 to 3 days, like come back at the end of the month, come back at the first of the month, I'll see you in 2 weeks, or call me. Like, that telegram makes absolutely no sense.
No sense. No sense at all.
Like, it would be, okay, so before the times, there might have been faxes, but not everyone has access to that. Unless you're sending him something in writing that is urgent, you don't need a freaking telegraph.
No, that's expensive.
Telegram, like unless I'm sending you the PIN code to unlock your computer, which I could probably email you, there's no reason for me to send you a telegram that urgently.
So is it ever established, is she lying about her job? Does she really work with these famous people?
Yes and no. I think she's probably just a girl that works in the mailroom, she's close enough to see the action, but not really interact like she's talking. Like she might be in the lobby and there's a greeting like, oh, hi, but they're not going to be singing your praises that you're like the best girl ever,
Like, to me, when she said that Eric Clapton and somebody else came into her job and they went to this restaurant and he said, oh, wow. And she goes, oh, you've heard of that restaurant? And he just looked at her. And I thought it was because she didn't realize who Eric Clapton was. And he was more impressed that she met Eric Clapton. I thought that that's where that was going.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, I guess that wasn't the joke. Okay. And then I thought Eric Clapton was famous then?
Yeah.
In 1977?
Yep. He was. He had more of that folky music, I think. So.
And I was just like, wow, okay, that's not how the joke was. Because then she knew about the other guy, the actor. And so I was like, okay, no, she knows that they're famous.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, just think of the lowliest job, like I when she said she needed help, I could see her working in the mailroom, making copies, because all she could do was type. Oh, dude, everything's falling here. Oh my God, I wonder how my voice sounded. Like, hello. And it started to disappear.
I watched that happen. I was like, oh, okay.
This is happening. But yeah, no, like I just, You know, I don't feel like she's in the middle of the action. She just hovers around it.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the lunchroom or the break or the water cooler, here's the full story. And since they don't know, she inserts herself into these stories.
Yeah, because like it kind of reminds me of Ryan Reynolds' character in Just Friends when he just name drops. She's just name dropping all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's very like me. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like you're not cool. Okay.
Yep. But
So-
I mean, she landed herself a mistress position.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, either you're a good girl or you're not.
Or you're a UNT. Let's see here.
And that also makes absolutely no sense that I can see him leaving her the furniture,
Yeah.
but not a fucking apartment in New York City.
Right.
I don't care what era you're living in. New York has always been overpriced. And you know that apartment was decent.
Unless it was rent control and that's why, you know, maybe he was leaving it in his name, but she just was taking over the rent. So then he could always have it back another time.
Okay, that's more plausible. But again, this version just makes you question so much stuff. Like they give you information, but then they don't give you enough. And so you have to make up like your own explanations. Like that makes sense because then it's kind of like, well, I always have this apartment to fall back on.
Yeah, like why fixate on the guy who he ended up dying and his whole like, should I marry this girl because I got her pregnant and not tell us about this apartment because that's stuff people want to know.
Well, I actually, it's again, they're 19, 18, 20-year-old kids, you know? So
who look 47.
So I can see them like thinking their whole world is over because they've knocked somebody up and she's refusing to get an abortion and he doesn't want to marry her. And I'm just like, listen, you can't make her get an abortion. Okay, so either marry her or don't.
You know, they should
just shut the fuck up, really. Like, I'm tired of hearing it. Like, don't marry her if you don't want to, or suck it up and marry her. Like, those are your two options.
They really should have taken advantage of the abortion when they had the chance. Because if they were around now, they would be like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
but like, here's the thing. We never
know how good they had it.
We never see the girlfriend. So I'm not even equating her personal struggles in this matter because all we see is him. And clearly he cannot handle it. Like he's already, there's a lot of cussing in this episode. I'm so sorry, but he's a little punk ass bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. He gets pushed around, taken advantage of. So I already see that if he marries her, he's just going to get pushed around and bullied throughout the marriage. And again, just fucking run away. Just, I'm sure you have a cousin that lives somewhere across the country. Just fucking go over there. Yeah. Like, just don't marry her. You don't have to kill yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just.
So, you know, you say we never see the girl. Mm-hmm. I've been watching, stupid TikTok. So I was watching TikTok and someone had posted something about Degrassi. And I was like, man, I missed all this stuff on Degrassi. But where to start? Because I've seen all the episodes up until where I stopped watching.
Of course.
And I've seen them multiple times because I've tried to start from the beginning and go on. But I couldn't remember where I left off. Mm-hmm. So I picked a season and I just started. Mm-hmm. And it's a running gag that they have on the whole entire, like, first, I'd say, like 5 or 6 seasons. Mm-hmm. They talk about this girl and how slutty she is, how bitchy she is, how awful she is.
And she's the nicest, sweetest person.
They never show her. They never show her face, ever. They talk about her and you'll see her from the side or the back, but you never see who she is.
I love that.
And I don't know why they never show her. But then her sister shows up later and they do talk about her. Like, and she's actually a person on the show. But it's like a running thing with this girl. And they always talk about Heather Sinclair and they never show her.
I love that.
And I don't know why though. Cause they have so many people on the show already. They could have just have someone and they show her face. It's just so
they
funny.
don't. Okay. I like this. I would have, if they were going to do a reveal, I wanted her to be the nicest, most sweetest, condescending type person. Like, you know, kill them with kindness. Like they say something super idiotic and be like, okay, sweetie, maybe next time. You know, like she's not a real bitch. She's just like condescending.
Well, her sister is a piece of work.
Really?
Yeah, but I actually like her. So, you know. But that reminded me of it. When you said that, I was like, why don't we ever see her?
Yeah, like,
This makes sense.
I guess maybe I can't relate to her because I don't see her.
Yeah.
But either ways, like, clearly, because we only see his version of it.
Yeah.
This is literally his problem because everyone's telling him the same thing. Oh my God. When he asks the brother, who's an ex-priest now, if the Pope would do like a, what is it, deposition, whatever, to allow him to have an abortion, he's like, no. And he's like, but maybe? He's like, no. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? The Pope is never going to agree to that.
And it's like, okay, how many people got married because they got pregnant? Now, my whole thing is that if your religious views make you get married, they didn't stop you from having sex. So clearly you don't follow all the rules.
Yeah.
So what sense does it to get married? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You don't love each other. Don't get married. Be friends.
Yeah.
Have the baby. Be happy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be together. As long as he helps out with the kid.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. You don't have to be married to raise a child.
Exactly.
That's my PSA for today.
I also feel like, obviously, this movie happens within a few weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks, you know, from the announcement of the dance contest. So let's say it feels like he just found out about the pregnancy at the very beginning of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's still very new. So let's say even he just found out at the beginning of the movie. It's been about 3 weeks now. I think the shock and awe of it and the realization of, dude, this is happening. I feel first of all, I don't feel he committed suicide.
No.
He fell down because he was drunk and he was going cuckoo. Like he was having a mental breakdown.
Are we sure he wasn't on something else?
That's also possible. They were doing drugs.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it was suicide. You know, it was an accident.
Speaking of the bridge, so when they do it, when they're on the bridge the first time and they're jumping around and they jump down and she leans over and thinks that they fell to their death, they didn't tell her that there was a platform. So her reaction to them falling over is 100% real. They didn't want her to know. And so that's why she looks so shocked and scared because she didn't know that there was a platform there. And then when she says, fuck you, that was real. She really said that and they kept it in.
Good. I like that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, April will love this.
But yeah, I know teenagers tend to overreact to stuff. So I don't know. From an adult perspective, dude, like it's not that serious. Like, yes, it's life altering.
Yeah.
But you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you'll figure it out or you won't.
Yeah.
You know, either you're going to end up being a great single every other weekend parent, or you're going to be a deadbeat dad that falls off the face of the earth.
That was probably more likely the option.
You know, but you know what? Maybe in a few years after you grow up and get your shit together, maybe then when the kid actually has memories, you can come back into the kid's life, you know?
Something.
Like children need you the most when they're under 4 to 5.
Yeah.
But their core memories really happen after 4 and 5. So
Tony finally is gonna sleep with Annette. And they're in the back of the car and they're going at it. And he's like, do you have any, are you on something? And she's like, no.
It's okay. I love you.
Yeah. He's like, no, like we need condoms, something.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, just give me a blowjob. It's like, wow. Okay.
But that's what he's used to.
Yeah.
Like the girls just give it to him.
It's just
like he is worshipped in his little corner of the world. Okay.
He thinks he's hot shit. I mean, compared to the other guys he's with.
Yeah.
He is.
He totally is. He's got the moves. He's got that raise at work. He works great hours. They close at 6 p.m.
Yeah. He's got the great hair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
apparently
charming.
he's off on weekends,
Right?
At least on Sunday, so that he can like sleep in from clubbing on Saturday.
He's got the butt chin, like
Yeah.
all the stuff.
Everybody knows him and they part for him as he walks into the club.
Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, none of the rest of this really matters.
No.
We've already discussed it.
Yeah. The parents really spaced out their kids, at least by the age of the actors.
Right?
At least, at the minimum, 8 years apart from each kid.
Yeah.
But that first kid, like, did worshiping God really wear him down like that? Because he looked at least 32, 33, 34.
Yeah. Well, and like Susan said, they did say they had other kids. And so I'm assuming they have like...
So probably John Travolta was the baby and the girl was a surprise baby?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay. So have you ever seen the movie, oh goodness.
Probably not.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
No.
So in the movie, Sybil Shepherd is friends with Sarah Jessica Parker. Sarah Jessica Parker is real young, and she goes to like a Catholic school or something. And on the weekends, she dances. Her family doesn't want her to dance. They don't know that she dances. She secretly dances. And there's another guy who's a good dancer, and he's on the show, and she gets to be on the show, and she's real excited. And it kind of reminds me of this, but it's done better. Like this one, they like for no reason they don't like his dancing, but like no one's stopping him from dancing. No one's giving him ultimatums. Like there's really no like.
Well, when you get to that last kid, you kind of stop caring.
Yeah.
Because the daughter, like, she exists, you know?
Yeah, it's not like he's sneaking away to go dance every weekend. It's not like he has something that's stopping him from doing it.
It could also be like, you know, he's 19, let him sow his royal oats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I just feel like the way that the movie was, it didn't, there was no conflict in that. Like the whole point of the movie is about dancing. There should have been a conflict. Like, you know, his boss won't let him off and he quits. Like that should have been the pivotal moment, but he does it anyways because he loves to dance that much. But it gets resolved and he gets his job back.
Yeah.
And
well, because he's good with customers.
Yeah. But it didn't stop him dancing.
Yeah,
so.
like he really never suffered a consequence.
No,
never. He was R-Ray.
He even wins and doesn't even take the money that he should have got for second place.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you left them with both envelopes now.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I know. He didn't even get a trophy out of it.
No.
He should have just snatched it out their hands.
Be like, here, you have this. I'm going to take your second.
Yep.
And the envelope too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Like, dumbass.
Yep.
So this was one thing that I noticed and you were upset about. So at the very beginning, they're doing their little dances and stuff. And when they do the group dance, I guess the hustle or whatever, and they're doing the pointing finger. I don't even know. What is that called?
Hustle dab? I don't know.
We all know the dance.
Yeah.
I do not know what the name of it is. But it looks super lame when they're all doing it in the big group. Like it should look really cool.
Because they can't really shoot their hand out because they'll hit the next person.
It just looked kind of like,
Because when you think about it, it was a very small dance floor.
Yeah.
You know?
And have less dancers. I don't know.
You know what?
Crisp.
Honestly, I'm sure they've tried it different ways and that was the best look for it.
Yeah. No. I don't agree. But I do remember on One Tree Hill, there's an episode where two of the people dance like that movie together. It's really weird. It just comes out of nowhere. They do the dance and then it's done. And it's just a little part. But I always, as soon as the song started and they were dancing, I was like, oh, that reminds me of One Tree Hill. Anything else about this movie?
Honestly, I recommend the original. I feel like we have to see at least the pivotal clips that we will then add to this because, I mean, we have questions that we need answers for.
Right.
And this is going to bother me. Yeah, it will.
I feel incomplete right now.
I'm going to have to go on to Reddit and find like the Saturday Night Fever mod.
Well, we even tried to look up Mandela Effect.
I think we may have discovered it. Yeah. Discovered one. Yeah.
We're going to have to go to TikTok with this. I am going to post our TikTok about it on TikTok.
Yeah.
You don't stop. Because I need people to know about this Mandela Effect.
Yes.
So you want to hear something weird?
What's that?
This morning? So I was listening to Christmas music today. Just, getting my drive on. And one of the songs from Glee came on and it was "Oh Christmas Tree." And I've heard this version many times. Never thought of it. But today, just having my headphones in, working, it sounded like Matthew Morrison really wanted to get with that tree.
What?
I'm going to have to play it for you.
Oh, Christmas tree.
Yes. He was lusting
Christmas tree.
after this Christmas tree. And it was
lovely are thy branches.
Yes. He was just like, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
He was serenading it. It was
I really want to screw you.
Like it was his ode to Yule time.
He did something to that tree. That's all I know. Something to the knot in the tree because he was really aggressively lusting after this tree.
Yeah.
He's a dendrophiliac. If you don't know what that is, you should go listen to our Can't Hardly Wait episode and you'll find out. All right. Well, April.
Yes.
If they want to answer our questions to the Mandela Effect, where can they find us?
Two Chicks Talking Flicks over on Instagram.
You can find us at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks at Gmail.
Guess what? We have an email, twochickstalkingflicks@gmail.com.
I just said Gmail.
Oh my God. I really wanted to say the email one. I didn't hear what you said.
That's cool. We
have a Facebook. Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
You can find us on
Honestly,
TikTok.
I didn't hear what you said. I was just preparing for my next line. I just needed to reiterate that because people don't email us, okay? Listen, guys, we have an email. Use it.
Yeah. Email us.
At Two Chicks Talking Flicks.
You can also go on our TikTok at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
But please don't forget about the email.
Dear God, email us.
Email us, please. We really need those emails.
Hey, did you guys know we had an email? It's twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.